This is KUGAN CASSIUS for iFL TV in association with MTK Global. We're in Canada, Laval, Quebec.
Montreal.
Yep. I'm joined by promoter Frank Warren at the weigh-in here for Saunders versus Lemieux. Nice setup here, Frank.
It is a lovely venue, isn't it? Beautiful venue. It looks a bit like the, what's it called in London? The O2. Got that look about it.
Happy with the ring?
Yeah, it's all good. Good size. It's what we want. And yeah, suit Bill. The bigger the ring, the better.
It's a big opportunity for Billy Joe Saunders on a big stage out here in Canada on HBO. I said BoxNation BT at home, but he's looking to make a statement against David Lemieux this week.
Yeah, he's got to. I mean, that's really what we're looking at. We want Bill out there. We want Bill to, do the business. I mean, I've said to you before, physically he's in great shape. Dominic's got him in a real good condition. That fight against Willie Monroe Jr. stood him in good stead. That was nice. Process of them getting to know each other. Now, as I say, physically he's great, and more importantly, mentally he's right on the money. So he's looking good now.
And like I said, we've gone over this before, but he has been inactive since he beat Andy Lee. But this is all changing now, Frank. Obviously, he fought in September. He's now fighting in December, and it was always him fighting consistently that we see the best of Billy Joe Saunders.
I agree with that. Unfortunately, when we go to the older ground, we know that we have all the aggravation we had with Eubanks Jr. not signing a contract, same with Golovkin, and there was quite a few setbacks. But now that's all done. He's finished the year on a high note. He's had 2 fights, or he will have 2 fights by Saturday in succession. And if he comes through this, he'll be out again very early in the spring. March, get him out there again in another big fight.
And this was his first sort of fight over this side of the pond, if you like. I know we're in Canada, but yeah. But this isn't going to faze him. He obviously travelled as an amateur all over the world.
Bill's a traveller. That's what he is. So he's travelling, and the bottom line of all of it is he's got the confidence and the ability and belief in himself that he can win in the other guy's backyard. I don't like really travelling with my guys. I always prefer to have home advantage. And Lemieux, in front of all his fans, he's going to get more out of him. He's going to get a bit more out of him. So Bill's going to be top of his game. Certainly in training, he looks that way. And I think Bill, under pressure, you get the best out of him. It seems every fight he goes into where, it's not a marking time fight, where he's up against it like Andy Lee and Eubanks. And he went into, in the Eubanks fight, for example, he was like 70% fit for that. He's still done the business. This time around, he's 100%. He's going to a world-class fighter, and it's up to him now to show the world what he's got and why he deserves to be fighting the winner of Golovkin and Canelo, or if they don't get their fight on, one of them.
Are you confident that, like I said, either Canelo or Golovkin, he's been linked with for the last couple of years, really, year and a half, that one of them fights will materialise next year?
We had a contract sent by Golovkin this year for him to fight in June, and it fell out of bed because Golovkin had that tough fight against Daniel Jacob, and as a result of that, they decided to rest him up until the Canelo fight, which took place in September. If that hadn't been such a tough fight for him, Bill would have had the fight. It's going on in New York. But anyway, that's all past. You can talk about it till the cows come out. It means nothing. It's all irrelevant. What's relevant is Saturday night, and what's relevant is that Bill's got to come through that. And if he comes through that, then he's obviously going to be in a good position to kick off 2018 and earn some big money and some big fights.
How are you dealing with the weather here?
It's freezing. The local pawnbroker's closed down. It's really cold. I've got the poxy flu. I've had it for nearly 3 months now. I can't shake it out, and I thought I got rid of it. And I've got it all back on me again. But anyway.
So this weren't the best place for you to come, really, Frank?
No, we've got to be here. Actually, I quite love Canada. I've been out here skiing a few times, and I enjoy Canada. And the weather's okay. It's just when it's cold and it's snowy, you want to be out skiing rather than walking around in slush and ice and slipping arse over boards in a street of Montreal.
You've also got Nicola Adams on the bill tomorrow night, Frank.
Nicola's fighting. She's been out of action for a while, so she's back in. She wants to finish the year on a good note and hopefully again get out early and get her rolling. We need to get her back. She seems to be based in the States at the moment, and we need to get her back a bit more in the UK so that people can see her, and
Just the 2 fights, Frank, like, this year, Fred. Obviously, it's his third one. So, you know, you happy with the way that's gone?
Well, not really, not really. 'Cause she should have had more, but she had one where the woman, the girl she was fighting, found
Blood test. Yeah.
which was a real pain for Nicola, and obviously the girl failed her blood test. But anyway, things happen. But she's right, and we get her moving.
Just to recap, obviously, on last weekend, Frank, it was a rather eventful night you had at Copper Box. Obviously, great wins for...
Should have been there, you'd have enjoyed it.
Yeah. Dubois and Yard obviously delivering what they have been delivering.
Yeah.
But, this James DeGALE situation, obviously a disappointing night for him, Frank.
Yeah, I just don't think James got it. I mean, some people thought he won. I mean, I thought he lost it, and I think the result was what it was. And I think with James, it just wasn't his night. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. He wasn't firing on all cylinders. Maybe what he says is true. Maybe he come back too soon. I thought his tactics. I think he just got his tactics wrong on the ropes too much. But you know that happened. Broken nose didn't help in the 5th round. It's quite a torrid bit of action when that occurred, and that hampered him. But it's done, dusted. A couple of weeks' time, we're into a new year. There is a rematch clause in the contract.
Right, I was going to ask you that.
HEARN, you know, just so you know, you and your, as usual, you know, that thing between your ears is called a brain. And I'm sure people like Al Heyman and Richard Schaefer are not schmucks that they never got a rematch clause. But anyway, there was a rematch clause, so if he wants it, I'm sure it'll be put on.
I think James was asked about it after the fight, and he wasn't sure whether there was or not.
Because normal circumstances, as a promoter, I would be making the fight. But I'm not his official of promoting that fight. But I bought the fight as a ready-made deal. So we put the fight on and did what we had to do. But you know, I'm just hoping, as I say, that James is okay now. And I hope his nose injury gets over that quickly. We get him back in as soon as possible.
Obviously, there was some comments from Eddie Hearn about where James hasn't attached himself to a promoter and was doing this fight-by-fight thing that, you know, that you wouldn't really care either way whether he'd lost or won.
Well, I don't know if you've watched the fight back at ringside. I didn't stop. I lost my voice. Of course, I wanted him to win, and you know, and I was going to the corner in between rounds, shouting out. I told him, I said, in my opinion, your round's behind you. You need to win these rounds, especially last round, so you've got to go and knock him out. So I didn't care. I'd just be sitting there with my feet up, wouldn't I? Not bothered about it, but of course I'm bothered about it. And again, that's not true. But it's, you know, I don't know what I'm even talking about. Who gives a shit what Eddie Hearn says? I mean, it's irrelevant, isn't it? At the end of the day, we all move on. Boxing carries on, whether he's in the sport or he's not in the sport. In this moment in time, you know, it is what it is. And you know, James, we worked very hard to getting that fight in London. We put our money up and we got the fight there. You know, he didn't put the money up. He didn't get the fight there. He wanted to, and he was like the usual. If he can't have it, then it's rubbish and nobody else should have it.
Are you confident, not confident that James will actually fight again, Frank?
I don't know. I've got no idea whether he will or not. That's his decision. I'm quite sure he won't want to go out on a loss, but who knows? If he wants to retire, then everybody is supporting. He's got a good family around him who back him up in whatever he does. But that'd be his decision. He's the guy getting in the ring. He's the one who's taking the whacks. It's up to him.
We should see what happens in that situation. But any response to obviously some other comments that he made regarding your shows and not selling them out, Frank, Eddie Hearn?
Oh, you've been to the ones you do attend. But,
Frank, it's the first show I've missed this year,
right.
by the way.
But it was more or less sold out. Did you go to the Frampton fight?
Yes.
Was it sold out?
Yes.
Did you go to the other Copper Box fights? Did you go to Josh Warrington's fights? Did you go to all those?
Yes,
and
to all above.
And were they all great atmospheres? And were they good fights? And were they sold out? So what is Eddie Hearn and his usual? You know, Anthony Joshua came into the sport, a hot property. Everybody was after him. And at that time, BT weren't there. And the difference between, I believe, him going with me and going with Hearn was the fact that Scott was Sky. It was all about Sky. And the people were advising him, telling him that he was going to get good sponsorship opportunities and so forth, because that was a big platform for him. And he's done it, and Sky have done a fantastic job for him. But let's get it right. A monkey could promote him. You know, my grandson could promote him. He promotes himself. You know, Anthony Joshua, he's like, Anthony Joshua, what would I have done if it weren't for Eddie Hearn being involved in my career? Nobody would know who I am. He's Anthony Joshua, for God's sake. I mean, he's the guy who gets in the ring. He's the guy fighting. It's not like you've got an unknown fighter and built him up. Then I can understand it. He brought the British Olympic heavyweight champion. So, I mean, you know, what does he think he is, a genius or something? And he wound up getting a belt because Tyson Fury, let's get it right, Tyson had to vacate his belts for these problems. Otherwise, they still would have had the world title. So there's been a lot of circumstances about him. Good luck to them. One man's bad luck is another man's good luck, and that's it. But that's what it is. Take them out. What did he do up in Hull? That's, was it 1,000 tickets they sold up there? It was spark out, wasn't it? I promote in Liverpool. It's a tough city, Liverpool, at the moment, because there's so much of that northwest and money's tight. You go to Liverpool with Rocky Fielding. It was the worst ever attended event in Liverpool, wasn't it? Or was listen, he's too young to get amnesia. I know he forgets about StubHub and he forgets about what goes on there. But if anyone's getting amnesia, it should be me. But he's got amnesia. He conveniently forgets things like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
anything else?
Yeah, obviously Tyson Fury's out here to support Billy Joe Saunders. His path obviously for next year is a little bit clearer now because his UKAD situation's been resolved, so you must be pleased about that. Hoping to work with Tyson next year, Frank.
Oh, I hope I am. I mean, I like Tyson. I got him into a position when he beat Derek Chisora, in a position where he became the mandatory challenger. That fight was an eliminator for the title, and he went off to Germany, and it seems to be airbrushed out of everything what the job that he done on Klitschko. I mean, he took Klitschko to school. Klitschko never won a second of anything in that fight, and seems to be convenient. Forgotten about it. He's the linear champion. He's now got the OK to been cleared by UKAD to fight now, so that's all dust is settled on that. And now it's onwards and upwards for him, and I hope that I'm involved in promoting him. I like Tyson. I think he's the best heavyweight out there on his day. And he's lost. He looks much. You've seen him now. He's lost a bit more weight.
3.5 stone.
Yeah, he's done a bit of weight, so he's serious. He's getting stuck in, and I think we're going to see him in the ring early next year, and hopefully he's on one of our shows. We'd love him to be on one of our shows.
The next step for him to get his licence back, preferably with the British board.
Well, even if he doesn't be licensed by the board, he's still got to clear up. If he fights in the UK, he's still got to be under the British Boxing Board control jurisdiction, even if he had, say, an Irish licence. The bottom line is he has to have clearance, so he can get that way. But I think that's pretty much I can't see that being more than a formality in a hearing, but it needs to be done soon.
Again, I spoke to Tyson about this earlier on, but the Joshua fight keeps being mentioned, obviously linked with Tyson. But for that to happen, Frank, how would that happen if sort of you were promoting Tyson and Joshua's on that side? Could that fight still happen?
Well, let me tell you, it's been announced today. BT are now on the Sky platform. It's been announced, so there's access to the subscribers. It's quite important. It gives us a bigger platform to do it. He should be fighting Anthony Joshua. Yeah, he needs about at least 4 fights to get ready. And Anthony Joshua's fighting in
end of March.
So he's not going to be out again till the autumn. So I understand his contract's up then.
I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm hearing. It may be untrue, but if it is up, well, we've got a conversation to have, haven't we? Hey. And if it's not up, we've still got a conversation to have. If we were to do it, Anthony Joshua's in this business like Tyson Fury for one reason and one reason only. They've had the glories, and Tyson's had his ups and downs, is to make money. And if you've got a platform where you can make a lot of money, more money, then you use that platform. And whatever it takes to make the fight. Do whatever it takes to make the fight. And it'll be a big fight. It's a great fight for British boxing. But we will see what happens. But it's, it's like with Tyson, it's like he's going with some begging bowl. Irrespective of what he decides to do, he's the guy who's the linear he's the one who nobody's beat. He's the one who is, in my opinion, is the real champion until one of these guys beat him, and they haven't beaten him, they haven't fought him, and he brings a lot to the table. He brings whatever Anthony Joshua brings to the table, he brings exactly the same. And so a nice 50-50 split shouldn't be a problem in making that fight. And as I say, who knows what Anthony Joshua is going to do when his contract expires with Eddie Hearn. Hey? I bet that old Tucker's of his is going in and out like a glass blower's arse.
Frank, you announced your show for the 10th of February recently, The Untouchables, featuring Tete defending his world title, Yard, Dubois and Bradley Skeet. So, yeah, back out of the copper box.
Back out there, you know, I've got to tell you, Tete, I think it should be in that pound for pound list of fighters. He's a great little fighter. No one wants to fight him. I mean, no one wants a piece of him. We go to Belfast, Ryan Burnett, fight, unification, don't want to know. Ryan Burnett, I'll tell you what, we'll put it, you can have it. Eddie Hearn, you can have this show. It could be another one of those bursters you put on. You can have it, and I'll pay him. And you can give Ryan Burnett more money. How about that? Because you haven't got to pay my man. The money you have to pay my man, give it to Ryan Burnett, you double his money up. And let's get it on. But then I forgot, he's a philanthropist now. His job now is to look after his welfare and ensure that this happening. Come on. It's simple. 3 words. Don't fancy it. Just say it. Don't order not what your moral responsibility is and your ethics. Ethics. I mean, there's a thing. Ethics. That's where he lives, isn't it? Ethics. You think about that. Ethics. StubHub. The man who is sponsored by StubHub, the fan's friend. The fan. Let's fleece the fans. Let's make them pay more money. Oh, I'm such a philanthropist. I am. That's, please.
Yeah, the Copper Box show. Yeah, is that be your first one back in 2018,
yeah,
Frank?
That's our first show back, so it's going to be a great show, and got all our young guys on it. I mean, I think they've come on really done well. When you think about, Anthony Yard, 12 amateur fights, he's really got himself in a good position now. BoxRec, we've got him rated as the best light heavyweight in England. He's ranked, I think, 5 in the WBO, so he's jumped everybody. He's in front of everyone, and the old destroying, the wrecker, the destroying machine, Triple D, he's doing really well, and he's out there, and I think he's going to, we're going to move him a little bit more next year, and I hope he's going to win another title. We've done brilliantly with them in promoting, and they've done brilliantly what they've done in the ring, and I think they're the 2 hottest young fighters out there. When you think of all those young fighters that have been to the Olympic Games or whatever, the names on everyone's lips are those 2, and that's a fact. That's not anyway. That's what it's called promoting. Guy has 12 amateur fights. You promote him and bring him through. He's got a God-given talent. Got a great trainer and manager in it. We work as a team, and you bring him. That's promoting. And here, and when it comes down to it, when they've got the big fights on, they'll be in massive fights in front of big audiences.
Just finally, Frampton out in April, and then Warrington Selby in May. That is the plan.
We've got to finalise the deal for. Josh Warrington. We're working on that now. Hopefully we get that sorted out. And Carl should be penciled in for the 7th of December in Belfast. 7th of April in Belfast. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. And then we've got Liam Smith. He's the mandatory for Saddam Ali. And we're negotiating with Golden Boy. I've had a meeting with him yesterday, so that's got to be on for the...
Will that be over in the States, Frank?
Don't know yet. We'll see what happens. And then I've agreed terms now, just subject to contracts for Maurice Hooker
Terry
Flanagan, and we're just sorting a date out for that. And, so
will that be in Manchester, Frank?
Don't know yet. We're working on the venues, but at the moment, it's a good start. So we're kicking off with some nice, well-tight fights for our guys and that, and hopefully we'll be doing a few more.
But before any of that, obviously your man Billy Joe Saunders defending his world title successfully will be the best present for you this Christmas.
Oh, Bill's been with me from the beginning. We've had some tough times. We've done it the hard way. Well, I've done it the hard way promoting. He's done it the hard way in the ring. He's won the British, Commonwealth, European title, WBO title. He's done everything that's been asked of him. 25-0, and for him to win. Do the business on Saturday night, it'll be a massive Christmas present, and I think we'll all go home very happy.
Absolutely. Frank, have you got anything else you'd like to add?
What else? No, I think that's about it, mate. I just wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and don't pay more than you should for the face value of your ticket.
Frank Warren, thank you very much for talking to iField TV, and We'll catch up with you after tomorrow night.
You're welcome.
Thank you.